Fire Emblem Three Houses is a game that I played a bit, so I feel qualified in talking about it. Of course, I'm not like a super pro Fire Emblem player. In fact, Three Houses is the only one I played, and to be honest, I really don't feel like going back to go play the other ones. But I feel like the problems with the game are there's not many, but they build up and bring the game down to what it could have been. But I understand that they had to get the game out because there was like a gap between like an actual new game, and you can't really have that. And even now, it's been like what, 3 years since Three Houses, I think, which is kind of an. What I mean by anime is that the characters, well, some of them at least, are so dramatic and one note that they take me out of the story. And you can't say, well, it's just a video game. Well, don't have themes of like, what the fuck is that? Like a merit-based system and overthrowing governments and religion bad, religion good, stuff like that. And then have I want to go home lady in the same game. It doesn't fit.
He pursued Edelgard as she retreated, but he didn't get far before he collapsed. I saw him surrounded by Imperial troops and pierced by their spears. I'll never forget it. He deserved a better end.
The game does too much telling and not showing. This is an interactive medium. Instead of forcing me to stay at the monastery, why don't I get the chance to explore just a small part of the Alliance or the Empire or the Kingdom and see how they're different, how they're the same. But you don't get to do that because I don't know why. Maybe laziness. But the saving grace of this, however, is that the voice acting in the game is pretty fucking good. So it's not like you're being completely bored out of your mind. The performances are fine enough, but it's still a problem. I wanted to see, I don't know, something happening to Dimitri. You can't kill off one of your most important characters like that. That's ridiculous. This also connects to the next problem: bad presentation. Supports in most cutscenes are barely animated and have a background that looks pretty cheap. Also, the combat arts all more or less look the same. Critical animations, of course, look great. And I think that the current art style for characters is bad. Fine. It's fine. The problem is that the females look way too similar to each other. And I guess it's just a symptom of anime, but that's something that can be avoided with proper thought into your design. It also may just be me, but I swear the game slows down during combat, and honestly, the game is not. It's their present. It just runs kind of choppily in some places, but it's nothing too game breaking because, of course, it's a turn-based game, and you don't really need good reflexes to play it. You may be thinking, wow, that sure is a lot of complaining. And my solution, of course, would be to just, at least for supports and the cutscenes, have it be, I don't know, like a comic or a manga. Fucking weebs. But yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. I played Gravity Rush, and that game had a really cool style. I think that it should look like something like that. That would be ideal, so that we wouldn't have to, have so many kind of models and animations that. Not only does the game not have anywhere else to explore other than the monastery, but it constantly reuses the same few maps. Well, it's not that bad, but the point is, there's too few maps. Between the paralogs and the auxiliary battles, you'll have seen most of them way too much, which makes for, especially on repeat playthroughs, a really uninteresting experience if you're not like doing pretty wacky things with your units. You defend the monastery, what, 3 times in Silver Snow? And it's horrible. Stop this. You have places like Bridget and Dagda and Dusker, but you never get to go there. Not even the DLC. The DLC was in the monastery. How could you just double down on your mistake again? That's why I haven't bought the DLC. I'm not interested in the monastery. I like Byleth. I like his colors. I actually like his general design. I like the Sword of the Creator too. I like how flexible he is as a unit. I enjoy using Byleth. Well, the male one at least. I think that the female Byleth design just looks bad. It's not really cool, and it's not that attractive because the coat is just hanging off the back, and it's just, I mean, what are you doing? Come on now. But I do think that the whole 3 houses thing is pretty pointless. I mean, it determines which characters and supports you get. But, that's it, really. The story, for the most part, plays out the same. You, like I said before, you go through the same maps. And I'm going to be honest with you, you really only need to play 3 of them. First of all, part 1 is the same for all 3 houses, which is annoying for replays, and there's no way to just get around it. You have to play through it because you need to build your units. Then, well, I'll go through the order of when I first played the game. I did Silver Snow first because I skipped Crimson Flower, partly because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I actually ignored Edelgard because I didn't like her. Silver Snow felt directionless because you had Seteth as your leader, because once again, well, I can't really say that because it never introduced this, but Byleth does nothing. Byleth has no agency. You get presented with false choices that do not matter. The only choice that matters is, do you want to do, which route do you want to do? That'll determine like the last 2 maps. It's and some like paralogs, but that's about it. I don't think this should be how the game works. The story should be radically different. I remember seeing like a video about the beta where the plan was that in Blue Lions, your students would deflect. Well, what the fuck is that the word? Defect and leave Dimitri, and that was interesting. But they didn't do that because I don't know. I guess they just didn't have time, or they couldn't figure out a way for it to make sense of the writing. But it would have been interesting and better than what we got, which is more or less the same as the other 3 routes. After Blue Lions, I did Golden Deer because I wanted to save the best for last. And while I did enjoy Golden Deer because I liked the cast the most, and the ending was good, the way the Slithers were introduced was nice, you can see the problems in that they reuse the Edelgard cutscene. She's where she gets all emotional before you cleave her head in half, and it just doesn't fit there. In Silver Snow, it did. You know, it was good payoff, and I think that's where Silver Snow should have ended. To be honest, Silver Snow just injecting a Rhea fight was fucking nonsensical, and the map was just tiresome. It's constant dragons. Whatever. I would try and fix Byleth by either, at the start of the game, picking a set personality, or having my choices actually matter. Those are the 2 things they could have done. But I'm still gonna. I like Byleth. I like the, emotionless husk who just kind of is, who's just angry and kills people because it's what he knows. I like that angle. And honestly, it's part of the reason why I like Dimitri so much, is because at one point, I mean, Byleth wasn't a murder hobo, but he was a murder hobo. Despite all this, I still genuinely think that Three Houses is a game worth playing at least once, and if you do it on the Golden Deer, because that's the one that'll give you the most full story, plot-wise. And if you like it enough, do the second run on Blue Lions, because that has the best characters. In fact, it's pretty weird how much the characters in Blue Lions are so much more integrated with each other and the plot of the game than they are in every other house. It's you really can't let anyone die in Blue Lions, because you'll be missing a part of the story. But what really saves the plot of the game, despite all the problems that it may or may not have, is that the central conflict is caused by two women, Edelgard and Rhea, being incompetent.